If you're looking for the easiest way to make $335 per day from home, this is it. Most people think you need employees showing up at your house, massive startup costs, or working around the clock to make that kind of money, and I'm here to tell you that's BS. I make over $1,300 per day running a remote cleaning business that requires 1 to 2 hours per day with no employees at my house, all from my laptop, and I started with less than $3,000. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the simplest path to $335 per day that anyone can follow, even if you haven't started a business before. So the reason I focus on $335 per day as opposed to $10,000 per month is a psychological bias that most entrepreneurs miss. When you wake up and think, I need to make $335 today, your brain can actually process that. It's concrete, it's manageable, and it's happening today. But when you think, I need to make $10,000 per month, your brain goes into overwhelm mode thinking that it's a lot of money and it's very far away. I've watched hundreds of people in the remote cleaning space put lofty goals in front of themselves only to not execute on them because they fall into this same exact trap. Here's what $335 per day did for my confidence. Every single day became a win. I was able to use that as momentum throughout the course of the week, throughout the course of the month, and that momentum is compounding in a way that's much more effective, in my opinion, than waiting till the end of the month to decide whether you had a success or you had a failure. And in the cleaning industry specifically, I think it's a great mentality to have because the revenue can be very predictable. It's not as if you're a real estate agent selling a $500,000 house that might take months to sell. You're selling $150 to $400 cleaning services that are happening each and every single day. So your $335 might come from 2 smaller cleaning jobs, 1 larger cleaning job, maybe a commercial client, and there are many ways you can win every single day that you're running your company. And the reason why I think it's the easiest way to make $335 per day is because I've tried a lot of the other things that you might have tried before as well. I've tried Amazon dropshipping, I've tried affiliate marketing, I've tried starting a marketing agency, I've tried trading crypto or doing day trading. All of those things are much more complicated and harder to execute, in my opinion, than running a remote cleaning model. The reason why I love this model is because it is boring. And boring prints money. While everyone's chasing those trends for whatever year it is, right? You can literally name the year. There's a new trend associated with it. This trend is AI right now. Those are all shiny objects. And this business in particular is not going anywhere for decades to come. And you can build a predictable, reliable income from it. People are just gonna need their places clean. People are gonna need their offices clean. That's just a standard of living that's always gonna be there. And here's the difference. Let's just take drop shipping as an example because it's a widely known one. You're dealing with algorithmic changes all the time. You're dealing with overseas supply chain issues that are out of your control, handling inventory issues, and determining whether that product is actually going to be in your inventory a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. In remote cleaning, your biggest problem is which day are we going to schedule for your next cleaning, right? So I'm choosing predictable over exciting to pay the bills. And I think because it's boring and predictable, that actually allows you to execute at a much higher level than something that's super complicated. Again, going back to the whole analysis paralysis, if you're trying to create the next Facebook, that's gonna take a lot of time, a lot of thinking, a lot of resources, and by the time you're thinking through all of that, you might not wanna do it anymore. And with people starting a cleaning business, during that whole planning and process time, they're already getting a business up and running, they're getting clients, they're getting cleaners, and they're off to the races making money. So $335 a day was my internal financial freedom number that I was always gonna work toward. This daily income and that target allowed me to not obsessively look at my bank account every single day. Because if I knew I was getting that income target each day, I was on my path to what my monthly goals were and my yearly goals were. And once you start to hit that goal over and over and over again, and even get more some days, obviously that changes your psychology completely. You're not in that feast or famine mode, and you're starting to build real momentum. And that comes when you know tomorrow you have a high probability of hitting that, the next day and the next day after that. And your relationship with money will fundamentally change once you start to get that predictability in this type of business model. And I think the beauty with this model is once you understand how to get to that number, it's very easy for you to understand how you're gonna get to 2x, 3x, 4x that number and can be doing over $1,000 per day in the cleaning space. Because it's not fundamentally changing how I'm gonna get a new customer, it's actually just adding more to what you're currently doing, which makes it really simple in terms of what's my plan to grow. Just do more of everything. So obviously if you're gonna make $335 per day, you're gonna have to have a really good routine each and every single day to produce that kind of consistency. So I'm gonna walk you through my typical routine in a day so you can see how I operate and apply everything or some of these things to how you run your day. So I wanna first start off with a little personal note by me. I'm not the kind of guy who has a huge morning routine where I have to do yoga, meditation, drink green juice before I get started on my work. I'm pretty much much waking up, having maybe a cup of coffee, and getting right to my desk. In my opinion, that's the best productivity hack, where you don't overthink what you need to do, you just get to work and start doing the things that you know you have to do. So my morning routine is where my entire cleaning company gets operated and run and I manage. It takes roughly about 90 minutes. Here's how it's broken down so you can understand what gets accomplished during that period of time. So the first 30 minutes, I'm really just checking my Slack channel. My Slack channel is gonna tell me everything I need to know for the day. I've got everything built in there in terms of communication and SOPs. So if anything were to happen, it's gonna be documented or notified in Slack. My team's gonna be communicating there as well. I'm gonna be seeing who's checked in for the day. Are all our cleaners going to our cleanings, right? Anything that might pop up, that's where I'm going to check, communicate with our team, and provide guidance if there isn't anything they can't already solve on their own. The next 30 minutes, I'm usually spending on marketing optimization and just high-level business analysis. I review revenue from yesterday's numbers, how our cleaning team did on all of our cleans, what are the feedback there, anyone trending in the right direction, anyone trending in the wrong direction, what is the spend, the total marketing spend we have for the day, what's the cost for all of that, how is our conversion on the sales side, right? All of the metrics that go into a healthy funnel and understanding your business as a whole. This is how I make strategic decisions to determine whether or not I'm gonna hit that profit number per day that I was mentioning prior. It's all about knowing your numbers. It's understanding when to cut something or when to double down on something that's working. And then in the final 30 minutes, I'm typically huddling with my team. So after my team's handled the morning management, I've looked at the business as a whole, it's time to gather as a team and go over everything for the day. So during that meeting, I'm usually asking everything that's going on in the business on their side, getting their feedback. Are they tracking towards what we're trying to hit for the month? Do they have any problems they need to work on? Do we need to review anything that they've been doing? Any kind of special initiatives or projects that we're testing out? Everything that pertains to the company, that's a chance for us to meet, get in sync, and just make sure that everything is being maintained as a business. I think when you're at that level, the key insight for running a remote cleaning business is that's really the best time to make sure that your business is being run well. If you have a really well-constructed and effective morning, you can run your business very well with a short period of time. I personally think this is the most effective approach, as it considers, hey, maybe some mornings I'm not feeling as motivated, I'm feeling lazier, or I don't want to be putting as many hours in. I can have a system that is definitely doable every single day, and that is motivating. If you feel like you have to put in 15 hours every single day to get something off the ground, over time, that's gonna potentially wear you out and make you less motivated to show up for that period of time. Most business models might require you to be on all the time. For example, if you're doing day trading, you literally have to be on, otherwise you're not executing the trade to 100% execution. In cleaning, it's different. If you have good leadership, if you have good systems and people, things will get done on its own because you've leveraged time and you've leveraged labor. And if I didn't show up at my desk, it's not as if the business suddenly just stops and no one goes to their cleans anymore. There's a system in place. People are gonna show up still, we're still gonna hire, we're still gonna help customers, we're still gonna clean their houses. All of those things will still occur. The only thing that might suffer is responsiveness from me, from like something my team might have a question with. So that might cause a delay in terms of our ability to get something done as quickly as possible. But the general bulk of the work is still getting done. So after running this for over 2.5 years, here's 4 things that I would focus on if you want to hit that daily number and work towards that each and every day, and focus on the actions that actually produce that result. So the first activity is obviously getting new clients. So getting more bookings and growing your business is the easiest way you're going to keep generating revenue, especially in the cleaning industry. If you can get recurring clients, your LTV goes up, and it makes it even easier for all the future months to get that profit number that you are trying to work towards each and every day. Second activity would be maintaining high quality standards, right? So making sure that the cleanings go well. You're checking in with your clients, you're checking in with your cleaners after each and every single clean. That way you can ensure satisfaction is there and you reduce the churn for any recurring clients. Because lowering your churn also will allow you to grow your business as well. If you're not losing clients and only gaining clients, that means you're always gaining clients. Third activity would be optimizing pricing and upsells. Over time, as you run your business, you're gonna have a huge customer base that you built over time. How are you building offers for them? How are you gonna re-engage them to get them back on the schedule, or upgrade current clients to packages that make more sense to them, or giving them upgraded services if they've been wanting something, right? Thinking creatively about how do I drive more revenue from what's already in the business. And the fourth activity is just maintaining a high performance cleaning team, because obviously without the cleaners, your business isn't going anywhere. So it's very important that you have the best cleaners possible, looking for talent always, and making sure they're delivering a high premium service to all your customers. Those are the 4 activities I would do. If you had limited time, those are the only 4 that I would do. I wouldn't be wasting your time on other things that are lower priority or lower ROI activities. For example, if you're doing SEO and it's your first 3 months of your company, that's probably a bad idea, because it's not gonna be a direct impact for hitting like your daily number that's gonna get you to your goals quicker. Most people in the cleaning space actually get distracted by a bunch of busy work, thinking, hey, I've got to do all these little things correctly, because that's that's what's gonna equal, my 335-day dollar target. And that isn't the case. If you really focus on those 4 activities I talked about, everything else actually can go to the wayside. It's where is your focus for what you're trying to achieve, and are you actually doing that is gonna be the highest indicator of whether or not you're gonna achieve that each and every day. So to me, I think the end product of having a short-term goal is actually you have laser focus. Okay, cool, like that's what I need to do first. And if I don't get that done, then everything else doesn't get addressed. And that will allow you to really build the business in a meaningful way. By the way, if you wanna work with me and my team on building your own $335 per day cleaning company in 120 days or less, click the link in the description below. So it's one thing to just make the $335 per day. It's another thing to do it in the easiest way and simplest way possible. And after working with over 200 people and starting their own businesses, I can tell you that there are differences in types of $335 per day income. Some are very stressful and some are very easy. You want to be focused on gold mine clients that have high discretionary income and not too much time. Think busy professionals who do very well. Doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, dual income households. These are the clients that typically pay on time, aren't going to cancel, and are not going to micromanage your cleaners. If you wanted to take it a step further, you can obviously look at household incomes, things that I've mentioned on the channel before, in specific geographical areas. Those are going to be the people who also fit that archetype, right? Because you can't live in those houses unless you have that kind of income. And they're the ones that also are going to be the ones that have the highest probability of getting upsold into more packages, more recurring services, or just referring you to people in their community as well. The types of clients I try to avoid are the micromanagers and the penny pinchers. Obviously, the penny pinchers are the ones that are always going to be upset with the service, complain about every little detail, and feel like they're not getting the value. And micromanagers are the ones that are going to oversee every single detail and effectively just drain and wear out your cleaning team because they're basically just right over their shoulder throughout the entire clean. I think the beauty with this remote cleaning model is as you get to be more mature into this business, you can be more selective about the types of clients you want to work with. Because the recurring nature means one great client can be worth thousands of dollars to you in a year, you can be selective with that approach. Another aspect of why I think this is the easiest business to make $335 per day is because automation can take care of a lot of things and a lot of the heavy lifting in this business. And the technology stack is honestly a few simple softwares. The first part of my automation stack is really just the booking system itself. This system covers about 90% of the workload that you're going to have. Everything from clients being able to book online, cleaners putting their availability in, matching those two parties together, providing directions to the cleaner for the client's house, right? Any notification that occurs throughout the entire booking process, every party is notified, right? That is really what automation looks like at scale. You don't have to be worried 24/7, is this person aware or is that person aware of something going on in your business, right? Everything is running and everyone's notified. It's great. You've got payment processors that basically automatically send payments out from your customers to your bank account. You've got other automations that send out to your cleaners as well. You have to worry about getting a cash or check from your client, right? Everything is dialed in so you get paid on time and predictably. I use automated review systems, right? So reaching out to customers, asking how the cleaning went, getting those reviews, optimizing my profile, everything is done automatically. And to me, every time you're automating one of these tasks, it allows you to put your effort and time towards higher leverage things and be able to scale the business further. And that's really how you get from $335 per day to $500, $700, $1,000 plus and beyond. Now, all of those things are great, and I think it makes it really easy to make that $335 per day. However, I do want to go over the time element of all this because I know time commitment is a huge thing and people will say all kinds of things online in terms of how long this actually takes. Now, in my position, I am at the point where it does take me very minimal amount of time to run this business, but it's a journey. It took me a journey to get to this point and it wasn't overnight. Everything I've been talking about, there's time that got put into building a system or an SOP or really managing everything. That's not something you can just flip the switch. So I would never call this business a passive income business. I think that's the wrong word to use, and I think it's a bad approach if you go into anything really thinking it's a passive income business. So during that kind of 4 to 6 month period when you're just starting out, I really recommend putting in 3 to 4 hours per day if you can towards this business. Obviously, you could probably get away with 2. Don't want to be doing just 1. It's not enough. You want to be at least putting more than 2 hours per day. That really allows you a couple different things in my opinion. One, you're going to learn the business. That's the most critical part. I think a lot of times people worry about, hey, I don't want to put any time in it, but time is how you actually learn how to do sales, how your customers are like, how to hire cleaners, what happens when things go wrong at a cleaning. Those are things that I think are very valuable and shouldn't be seen as obstacles, right? You want scar tissue. If you don't have that, then you're never going to learn how to lead a team properly. Obviously, you can have things in place that prevent all of these things from occurring, but the other thing is you just need to have the experience ultimately. So I want anybody that I work with to really commit to, hey, I want to get the experience first, because that's the most important part long-term for this company. Once you've kind of gone through that initial period and growth period of that kind of initial 6 months, that's where I would say is like, once you have the systems in place, once you've done the business long enough, once you've hired a support team and management team for your customer service side, all in-house, that's where you start to really reduce your time in the business, and it can go to just 1 to 2 hours per day, and even run better than when you were running it, 4+ hours per day potentially initially. And the beautiful thing about this model is the time doesn't scale linearly with the revenue. So going from $335 per day to $500 per day is not a 50% more time commitment. It just requires you to have better systems and processes in place. So the time that you invest up front pays dividends in the future is really the lesson I would want you to get from this. And a well-designed remote cleaning business gets more efficient over time, not less efficient. Okay, so those are kind of the biggest things to take away from all of this. So you can make $335 per day by just picking a boring business and keeping it simple. The remote cleaning business model works because clients will always need cleanings. You can do this on your phone, and it generates recurring revenue for predictability. If you want to work with me and my team on building your own $335 per day remote cleaning business, click the link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.